surprise. We only did 3 seasons, which shocks a lot of people. 1966, 7, and 8. And when we were done with that, I expected that we would have a couple of years of reruns, which would be typical, and then the show would gradually fade away. And in 1969, Neil Armstrong stepped out on the moon. And I think that had a great impact on the Star Trek reruns. I think people began to look at Star Trek in a new and different way. There seemed to be a potential reality to what we were doing. And for whatever reason, that or other reasons, around 1970 or 71, instead of drifting away, the show became more and more popular in reruns, shockingly popular, to the point where it became a news story. News outlets were writing and reporting on the fact that Star Trek was now becoming far more popular than it had ever been in prime time. And there were television stations throughout the country now had the opportunity, the license, to play the show in whatever time slot they felt was best for their market. We had never been scheduled well by NBC. NBC seems to have a lot of bad luck year after year. They did with us. They programmed us badly. Anyway, the show began to find a tremendous new audience. And stations were running Star Trek marathons on weekends, 24 hours of Star Trek episodes, right around the clock. And there was a report that professors in colleges were changing their class schedule because they could not compete with Star Trek reruns. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, if there was a rerun, the students were in the student lounge watching Star Trek. So teachers started to include Star Trek in their course of study as a jumping off point for science, for sociology, for economics, for whatever. And that was the big surprise. And suddenly it became a news story, and after several years of wondering what to do with Star Trek, Paramount couldn't quite figure it out. George Lucas solved the problem for us with Star Wars, which opened in 1977, was an enormous hit. And the people at Paramount said, well, we've got something like that, don't we? Let's make a movie. So we made the first Star Trek movie. And that's when it all started again.